welcome to the World News on Al-IyamoyeTv and radio. Here are the top stories. President Buhari says journalists enjoy unfettered freedom under his administration. First batch of Nigerians evacuees from Sudan arrive in Abuja. President Buhari launches Agenda 2015 aimed at increasing gross domestic product. Senate approves 22.7 extra budgetary spending request. Russia accuses Ukraine of assassination attempt on Vladimir Putin's lie. Nigerian Golden Eagles suffer defeat to Morocco in second group match. Details of this and more coming up shortly. Now the news in details. I am OLUWAFISAYOMI, AJIBOLA. The first batch of Nigerians evacuees from Sudan have arrived to the country. The Air Peace flight carrying over 270 Nigerian students from the Aswan Airport in Egypt landed at Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport, Abuja. The Nigerian Air Force jet, also conveying about 80 persons, also touched down moments later. The Minister of Humanitarian Affairs and Disaster Management, Sadiya Farouk, the Chairman of Nigerian Diaspora Commission, NIDCOM, Abike Dabirewa, and the Director General of the National Management Emergency Agency, NEMA, Ahmed Mustafa, were at the airport to receive the students. Farouk said the returnees will be given 100,000 naira each to enable them to settle in, adding that a full press briefing on the issues surrounding the evacuation have been scheduled later for this Thursday. President Muhammad Buhari has launched the Nigerian Agenda 2050, aimed at increasing real gross domestic product growth by 7% and create 165 million new jobs across the country. The launch, which comes nearly 7 weeks after the Federal Executive Council approved the policy document on March 15, was conducted by the President before the commencement of the weekly council meeting on Wednesday. In his remarks at the launch, President Buhari asserted that the vision is a product of dynamic knowledge-based economy to provide sustainable development by 2050. He expressed his belief that the document will equally aim to increase per capita income of Nigeria to $33,328 per annum to be placed among the world's top economies by 2050, which will be useful for subsequent administration. Meanwhile, President Muhammad Buhari says Nigerian journalists enjoyed unfettered freedoms under his administration. The President, in a statement on Wednesday, by his special advisor on media and publicity, Femi Adesina, felicitated with the media on World Press Freedom Day. He expressed delight that the rights of Nigerian journalists have been protected and upheld in past 8 years. Adesina said the President also charged media professionals to continue to be patriotic, work for the cohesion of the country, and exercise their freedom with a high deal of responsibility. The Presidential Election Petition Court has fixed Monday, May 8, for the hearings of the petition challenging Bola Tinubu's emergence as the President-elect. According to the Tinubu legal team, Monday's hearing is a pre-hearing section. The section settled pending applications, after which a timetable will be set for hearing of the substantive matters. The All Progressive Congress APC candidate was declared the winner of the February 25 presidential poll with 8,794,726 votes. Candidate of the People's Democratic Party (PDP), Atiku Abubakar, his Labour Party counterpart Peter Obi, as well as other political parties, have filed separate petitions challenging the outcome of the presidential election. President-elect Bola Tinubu says he could not have won the presidential election without the support of governors of Rivers, Nyesom Wike. Speaking at the commissioning of the Rumokuta-Rumuola flyover bridge in Port Harcourt, the capital of the state, on Wednesday, Tinubu said the structural support given by Wike played a significant role in the victory of the poll. The President-elect also praised the Rivers State Governor for taking a principled stand that the presidency returned to the South after the 8th year tenure of President Muhammadu Buhari from the north. Tinubu described the Rivers State governor as a champion of justice and very dependable. Tinubu was in Rivers State alongside the Speaker of the House of Representatives, Femi Gbajabiamila, as well as the governors of Jigawa, Ebonyi, Kwara, Imo, among others. Some former governors of the APC were also in attendance. The Nigerian government and its Indonesian counterpart have signed a letter of intent that will promote bilateral defense cooperation between the two countries. A statement on Wednesday by the Special Assistant on Media and Publicity of the Minister of Defense, Mohammed Abdul Karim, said the agreement contained in the letter will be done in accordance with the laws of the countries. The areas of cooperation contained in the letter include the exchange of high-ranking operational officials, the promotion of education and training, as well as promotions of defense industry and intelligence sharing. You are listening to the news, to the world news on Al-IyamoyeTv and radio. Still to come after this break, business, foreign and sport. Do stay with us. In business, the Senate has approved the sum of 22.7 trillion naira that was spent by the executive arm of government without the initial approval of the National Assembly. The upper legislative chamber approved the request on Wednesday after Senate leader presented a report. The 22.7 trillion naira is money borrowed by the federal government from the Central Bank of Nigeria (CBN) through the Ways and Means advances. President Muhammadu Buhari had asked the Senate to approve the sum in December 2022, but some senators, mostly of the opposition, kicked against it. The World Bank Group Executive Director on Wednesday selected Ajibala, former Chief Executive Officer of MasterCard, as President. In a statement on its website, the Bretton Woods Institution said Banga's 5-year term as President is slated to begin on June 2, 2023. Banga, a naturalized American, was nominated for the post by the U.S. President Joe Biden in February. Banga was the sole contender to become the bank's president after David Palmer's. On the foreign scene, at least 8 students and a security guard have been reported dead after a shooting at an elementary school in Serbia, capital of Belgrade. Another 6 people and a teacher were injured in the attack and have been taken to hospital, the Interior Minister said in a statement. Police arrested a 13-year-old student at the Vladan Banica School in central Belgrade in connection with the Wednesday morning attack. The suspect is alleged to have used 2 guns owned by his father. Police said the boy planned the attack for a month and had a list of targets. Russia had accused Ukraine of an assassination attempt carried out against its president, Vladimir Putin, at the Kremlin. In a statement shared via the Kremlin's official website on Wednesday, Ukraine was accused of carrying out a drone strike which was quickly intercepted by the Russian military and special services. Ukraine, however, said it had nothing to do with the alleged attack, suggesting that it was staged by Moscow, while the US said the report should be taken with a shackle of salt. In sports, Nigeria's Golden Eaglet lost 1-0 to Morocco in the second Group B game at the 2023 Under-17 African Cup of Nations on Wednesday. The Golden Eaglet went behind the second minute courtesy of a Toshukwu Ogboji own goal. In spite of dominant display by the Nigerian side, they failed to convert their many chances into goal. Nigeria will face South Africa, who beat Zambia 3-2 in the last group match on Saturday. Manchester City reclaimed top spot in the English Premier League after a convincing 3-0 win against West Ham at the Etihad on Wednesday. The City needed to respond after several Arsenal defeated Chelsea 3-1 at the Emirates on Tuesday. After a goalless first half, City eventually took all 3 points thanks to goal from Nathan Ake, Erling Haaland, who scored a record 34th league goal and substitute Phil Foden. Pep Guardiola's men were on 79 points, are on point ahead of Arsenal with 1 game in hand. Pep Guardiola's men, who are 79 points, are on 1 point ahead of Arsenal with 1 game in hand. At Anfield, Liverpool pipped Fulham 1-0 thanks to a Mohamed Salah 39th minute penalty. To end the world news, here are the recap of the headlines. We did tell you that President Buhari says journalists enjoyed unfettered freedom under his administration. First batch of Nigerian evacuees from Sudan arrived in Abuja. President Buhari launched Agenda 2015 aimed at decreasing gross domestic product. And in business, Senate approved 22.7 extra budgetary spending request. And in sport, Nigerian Golden Eagles suffer defeat to Morocco in second group match. The world news was edited by Abidaut Taurid. I am OLUWAFISAYOMI AJIBOLA. For details, you can get to log on to www.Al-IyamoyeTvradio.com. Thanks for listening, thanks for watching, and do have a splendid afternoon.